Lots of people are headed up north for the summer, and whether you're looking to rent a cabin or you're renting yours out, there are some things you need to keep in mind this time of year. And this week's Know the Law segment, Tom Sinas is here to talk about what you have to do before you sign on the dotted line. A lot of people are headed up north, and they're looking at stuff like Airbnb, looking at short-term rentals, but there's stuff they need to know.
That's right, both sides. If you own a cabin and you're renting it out, there's things you need to know. If you're considering renting a cabin for someone else, there's some things you need to know. Let's start with the homeowner. Okay? You own a cabin, it's your second home. You want to rent it out because maybe you're not going to be there for a few weeks. What's the first thing you need to do? You need to go look at your homeowner's insurance coverage. Why? Because a lot of homeowners insurance coverages have exclusions, meaning they won't cover you if you're renting the property. And the devil's in the details here, right? So sometimes it'll allow you to rent the property out a little bit. Sometimes it won't allow you to rent it out at all. What you need to do is call your agent. Just tell them, hey, I'm going to be renting my cabin. I want to make sure I'm covered. Do I need a special rider on my homeowner's insurance coverage? Usually you can get that rider for really cheap.
A lot of people in this day and age doing it digitally, where you communicate with everybody directly, right? Airbnb, stuff like that. They don't think about the insurance complications, but then what happens if they get into a situation where their house burns down or the hot tub gets broken?
And this can really be a problem on the renter side, right? Because as you say, people are getting these rentals on VRBO or Airbnb, and they're clicking yes to a contract, just like you and I click yes when we update our phones, right? Well, in that contract is going to be some language that will apply to you as the renter if something, heaven forbid, goes wrong. You can't just click on it and feel that you're okay. You got to know what's in there, and you got to know what you're signing, because in the state of Michigan, the simple way to put it is the contract controls. So whatever you, the renter, agreed to with the homeowner, you're going to be stuck with that if, heaven forbid, something happens.
I mean, so many people are just kind of doing this and thinking, oh, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. But if it does, then you wind up in court and you find out the details of that contract, right?
That's right. And so, you know, you want to minimize risk, right? You want to minimize risk when you're on a vacation. You don't want something bad to happen to anybody. But you also want to know, okay, if something bad does happen to me, what's going to happen after that? And the only way to know that is to read the contract that you're signing. It's not to say you can't have a good time. It's not to say you got to get paranoid about this. But just take 5 minutes, read it. If you have a question, call the person renting it out and say, I don't understand this paragraph. What does this mean?
And real quickly, we're not just talking about property damage. We're talking about liability here too, right? I mean, what if they fall down the steps that you maybe should have done a little more to maintain?
Right. It's an issue for both sides. For homeowners, you want to make sure that you have insurance coverage, which means we go back to where we started. You need to call your agent and say, I'm going to be renting this out. For people who rent, you want to make sure you know what's in that contract, because if you hurt yourself, the rights that you have are going to be governed by that contract.
Well, some good advice, Tom. And if somebody wants to talk more about the law, they can call any of your offices, right?
That's right. Grand Rapids, 616-301-3333. Our other offices are on our website, sinasdramis.com.
Thanks for coming by, Tom.
Thank you.